Hey guys, come on in the room. I'm going to give y'all a quick 15 to 20-minute video because we did like a 2-hour live last night and we got deep into it. So, hey, if y'all want to go ahead and check out that live, go right ahead. But basically, what we talked about, we got into Simon Guobadia and Porsha Williams. Now, if you guys have not saw this video, or should I say interview that Simon Guobadia did, he actually spoke about his marriage to Porsha Williams. And listen, he spoke about it, but it's giving weird, weird, and more weird because Simon spoke about it. But one of the things, well, should I say, it's what he said. It is all in what he said. Simon said that he feels like he was targeted by Porsha. He went on to say that, he was in his marriage, obviously, with Fallon. And I know this has been a narrative that, has been out there. Did Porsha, was she messing around with Simon when he was actually married to Fallon? Well, Simon says that he was actually going through a divorce when Porsha popped up in his DM. So, as I said on my live last night, if someone is going through a divorce, they are married. So Simon feels as if he were targeted by Porsha for money, and just looking for somebody to take care of her, y'all. So we're gonna get into it, okay? Let's get into it. And
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes. Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell cause the tea don't stop.
I don't know why I'm feeling so good. Today is my son's birthday. I have a 24-year-old. 24-year-old. Okay. So, y'all, let's get into it because Simon has entered the looking building, honey, and he is speaking. So, let's get into what he had to say. But I kind of told y'all, but let's get into the interview here so y'all can hear from the horse's mouth. Okay? Let's get into it, y'all.
Do you regret marrying her?
Absolutely. I said to her in one of my text messages to her, because she didn't respond because I kept asking her, why did you file for a divorce? And she wouldn't say anything. I tried to reach her mom. Her mom would not respond either. I later figured out this felt like a coup. I don't know if you're familiar with. I'm from. I say it because I'm from Nigeria, and that we were ruled at one point by the military, and so every so often when you want to change leadership, the president, you stage a coup.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. I was totally blindsided. I was no member of her family, whether on the mother's side or the father's side, reached out to me. And the only person I actually reached out to was her mom, and she didn't respond. And so I essentially sent her a text message. I said this was a $5 million rehab project that I took on. She never shared her concerns or issues with me before filing for divorce. If you're married, I've been married quite a bit. I think I understand a little bit about the dynamics of. I feel understand a little bit about the dynamics of a relationship. You discuss issues and say, "Hey, if this does not change or something does not happen, this is what might come of it." Mm-hmm. We never had those discussions, and I'm happy to.
So essentially, what Simon is saying is that he was pretty much bamboozled, and he's saying Porsha filed for divorce without having any kind of conversation with him. He said listen, I've been married a few times. I should know the order of marriage. So what Simon is saying is it pretty much was, Porsha got the house. She thought maybe she was going to be able to ride out in the sunset, and therefore she did not want to reconcile. He said they had no issues that would have, that she would have filed divorce because, hey, he said he's going to do these things and he's not doing it. Simon said there was nothing going on that will force Porsha to actually file for divorce.
Share with you text messages where I was essentially blindsided by the divorce file.
I was actually going to ask you if this was something that you saw coming, if conversations had been had prior. What do you think what do you think Porsha's reason was to file for divorce?
I think I was targeted.
In what way?
I was targeted from day one for financial reasons. When I filed for divorce from my...
So Simon is saying that he was targeted for financial reasons. This is his words, not mine. And y'all, we talked about it a lot on live last night. Go ahead and check that out. But I mean, Simon says, he was targeted by Porsha. Now, I definitely have my idea on how this marriage really benefited both of them. But Simon said that, he was targeted by Porsha.
Previous, ex-wife, she was in my DM praying for me.
So what Simon just said is during his marriage, him and Fallon was married. He said Porsha DM'd him saying that she was praying for him. And some of y'all last night said, oh, yeah, she was definitely praying for him, but that's with the PREYING.
Yeah, I think I was in a vulnerable position at that time, and I entertained it. And so it just kind of snowballed from there. Getting engaged in 30 days, who does that? I was out of my goddamn mind to have done that. And of course, I'm paying dearly for it.
Wow. That brings me to my next topic. There was some reports stating that the judge overseeing your divorce case has upheld the prenup that you guys signed before entering marriage. Are you able to share a little bit about what those terms are or look like?
That you receive $40,000 a month in alimony for the length of the marriage, which was 14 months. Okay. She gets to stay in the house, all expenses paid, including the mortgage, through for 36 months, up to 36 months. And if he chooses to own the home, she will have to refinance the property in her name and take a 50% equity. She would have to give me 50% equity in the home.
Wow. What is your reaction to that ruling and that decision?
It's basically what I've held from day one about this case. When I realized that I was targeted, I've had prenups in previous relationship, and I've honored those prenups without reservation. Mm-hmm. This time around, I've chosen to challenge in court all the way to the Supreme Court if I have to. This enforcement of the prenup is going to continue to receive legal challenges on the appeal front.
Okay, so you're vowing to appeal this decision for sure.
1,000% is going to be appealed.
One of the things that has recently kind of come out is that Porsha said she paid.
Now, let's kind of touch on that for just a moment. Y'all heard what Simon said. I hate when I say Simon said. It just tangles my tongue. So he said that he is appealing the decision in which the judge has enforced the prenup. Now, y'all heard that with your own ear. So I was thinking, okay, maybe it's over. He said, hell to the no.
child support for your children while you were in ICE custody. What is your reaction to that?
She sent her two $2,500 payments in 1 month, and that was it. That didn't even necessarily cover anything. I heard for the first time in court that had happened, and I immediately texted.
Now, here's the deal. We're just listening to this information, but we want to call out some inconsistencies. Now, I know there's been stuff online that said Porsha didn't pay the child support. She paid it. He just said that. So she didn't bring receipts, but I mean, why would he lie and say she paid it? But Simon says that Porsha paid his child support. She sent two $2,500 payments, which will be $5,000. Now, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think his child support was $5,000. But Simon said that wouldn't cover anything. So I'm confused because if did she pay it or did she not pay it? I mean, he said it didn't cover anything, but wasn't that his child support amount? So my question is, how are you paying your child's mother $5,000 if it don't cover anything? Because you just said that, but from what they have testified to, is that is what he's paying. So gotta take this all into our brain and dissect it. But she actually did pay the child support.
My ex-wife asking her, did she receive any funds from Porsha? She said yes. Porsha reached out to her and offered to.
Now, I think where the inconsistencies come in, because people been online and I've been receiving a lot of stuff, is who reached out to who. In all honesty, I mean, they're in a divorce. I would imagine that they're both trying to get dirt on each other. So I guess the little minute story that is really being blown up is that she didn't reach out to Porsha. Porsha reached out to her. I mean, I guess if y'all say so. But the bottom line is the lady actually did pay the child support. And I think that is what people were saying, is that she lied about that. Well, I guess she actually paid it.
To give those funds to her. In my opinion, it was not it wasn't done in good faith. It was done to give a narrative in court or to the public that I paid Simon's I paid Simon's child support.
Did Porsha have a relationship with this son of yours that she sent his mother money for?
Not particularly. My boys were with were with me for the last 5+ years. They've been with me 1 week on, 1 week off. And quite frankly, my kids don't care who daddy is married to, who daddy is dating. And she never developed any particular relationship with my kids.
Now, can we just touch on that for a moment? Simon was married to Porsha, and he testifies. Well, he didn't testify. In his interview here, he actually said that his wife, who he married, did not have a relationship with his children. Isn't that quite odd that you were married to a lady that had no relationship with your children? I mean, y'all, that don't sound right.
They came and we all did family things together, but there's not one particular child that she has a personal relationship with.
Wow. So Porsha had no relationship with his children, but yet he lived in a house with her child, and then his children, two of them, actually lived in the house. So isn't that odd that they were married, but yet your wife had not developed a relationship with your children? I see red flags. I know Porsha said that there were no red flags, but there were certainly red flags.
Do you feel that you have a relationship with her daughter?
I don't have a relationship with her daughter simply because I've in the past, I found myself where when I separate from any of my exes with children, there's a tendency for them to use their children to get back at me, to come, to try to come back into my life. And Porsha is no exception. She sent me a text telling me that her daughter misses me, and I didn't respond because there was a concerted effort at some point that she realized she had made a mistake, and wanted to reconcile. At that point, I was done.
So as y'all have heard now from Simon, he said that Porsha used her daughter to try to open the doors back for them to start talking, because as y'all heard him say, at one point Porsha had to realize that she had made a mistake, and she wanted him to come back, or she wanted them to basically reconcile per se. Now, I believe that because if you guys were watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Porsha did do scenes where she said she tried to reach out to his family and nobody wanted to have anything to do with the situation. So that part makes a lot of sense. But this is what I ask you all as the audience. How is it that Simon was married to a woman that had no relationship with his children? Wouldn't that be kind of odd? Like there was no signs or anything. And with regards to the child support issue, what Simon is simply saying is that Porsha did it to be able to say it in court, to say, hey, I paid his child support. But then Simon says, well, the 5,000 that Porsha paid wasn't enough. And now I'm looking side-eyed at Simon because I'm like, well, Simon, wasn't that your ordered child support? So isn't it interesting that you were paying 5,000, but then she paid your 5,000, but it wasn't enough? Y'all got to let me know what y'all think. There is so much to unravel with this situation story between Simon Guobadia and Porsha Williams. Now, if you got some time and you just want to sit back and listen, go ahead and watch our live last night. And basically, what we talked about was this entire story. And y'all should check it out. And I will see y'all.